King Ross. He is King Ross, he is King Ross, he is King Ross. And he is your friend, he is your friend.
Hello, I'm King Ross, you're my low subject. It's that bastard time of the week once again where I take a look at all of the WTF moments from WWE SmackDown Live, and we kick things off with the location of this week's SmackDown Live, which is apparently in Little Rock. Looking at that picture, however, more like every f***er's under a rock, am I right? Where the f*** is everyone gone? What is the crack with that? It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers! Get in there! Get this right, JBL claims that last week's handicap match between Singhs and the Singh brothers was unfair on the Singh brothers because the Singh brothers were dressed in dress clothes. Bullshit! They had their wrist tape and they both had variations of wrestling boots on, therefore they are dressed in wrestling attire. It might be more sophisticated than normal, but that's just up to the choice of the performer, isn't it, John? Go back to SmackDown 1. It always used to befuddle me how Deborah would be wearing a suit, a miniskirt and stilettos while she was competing inside the ring. Next up we have Jinder Mahal and the fact that he claims he's shown disdain when he should be revered by everybody. Now I'm stood there scratching me head, wondering, does he mean revered? Of course he does, but was the possibility there that he wanted a gimmick change like Devon Dudley had back in the day? If he did want to be like Devon, that's f***ing strange because Devon was awful as the Reverend, and ye bloody know it. Get this right, the Singh brothers are fully grown men that call their dad Daddy. These sick, perverted bastards. Marty Skill, you know what I'm talking about, pal. One of the Singhs, what the fuck's the point in learning their names? Because they're both dressed the same, they're both there to do essentially the same job. They're two little people that, when put together, make one normal-sized person. Claims that he's in front of the great nation of India before changing his mind after a little word in his ear from the other Singh brother to say that he's on behalf of the great nation of India. Now, this would have been fine if it hadn't been for the way that Singh brother corrected himself with the other Singh going, bah, 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 you're wrong, pal. It was more transparent than their shite acting they showed at the start of the show. I've never seen that before in a wrestling ring. Oh, my bad. Oh my tits, there was a silent support of 205 Live. There's actually one person out there that likes 205 enough to make it a sign. You need to grab TV channel and head for the bastard border. The end is nigh, the end is nigh, f***ing run away, the end is nigh. Next up we have a sign, a huge sign of a head of a man whose name rhymes with Knack the Robber, took to last night's SmackDown Live by a man that I knighted on Orlando called Sir Scott Breezy. Now supposedly, according to Sir Scott, this is a picture that Jack fucking hates. But Jack will have seen his picture on television. Jack's dick would have been a whopper. It would have been rock hard, and in turn, when he returns from his break following those WCPW shows last week, that's all we're gonna fucking hear about for at least 7 full days. Thank you for sending this entire office to hell, Sir Scott. Thank you very much. Next up, we have the Singh brothers and the fact that they promised Jinder Mahal that Shinsuke Nax would never touch him again. And would you just know it? What happened 30 seconds later? Shinsuke Nakamura got his hands on Jinder Mahal once again. Now this week, those kinky little bastards showed their fetishes for both daddies and feet, and after another failure on this week's show, what fetishes will we see next week? For the first time, the Singh brothers were compared to the Basham brothers, so if I flick on SmackDown Live next week, see them tied up with gags in their mouths and Jinder Mahal with a bloody whip with some latex on, you know what I'll do? I'll get me 2 fingers and push me to my eyes! If a JBL falls hour in the woods, does it make a sound? How much wood could a Kevin Dunn chuck if a Kevin Dunn could chuck wood? And if Shelton Benjamin's theme no longer claims that ain't no stopping him, no, does that in fact mean he can now be stopped? So many questions, so little answers. Has Shelton got Velcro into his armpits or something there? Why is he attached to the top rope? If he just does that, he makes the tag. Who would have thought it? It's been taken out with his theme. There is some stopping Shelton Benjamin now. Just fucking stick him on the rope with his armpit hair. Bugger me sideways, that's twice he's been stopped. No! If there's any wrestlers out there watching, as if there's any wrestlers watching out there, man, give over King Ross. If you want to beat Shelton Benjamin, though, just stick his armpit hair on the top rope. That's how you win. What the fuck is Shane McMahon talking about? If Baron Corbin was biased as a referee in last week's show, Shane McMahon is not. Slowly morphing into his sister, and as Kevin Owens so wonderfully pointed out, in the fact that Shane McMahon is stealing the spotlight from the actual superstars, he clearly fucking is, which means that Baron Corbin was not biased whatsoever. Unfair on you, Shane, you Yes, Baron missed a pin, but he was no more biased than Shane was. We've seen Shane push Kevin Owens, for example, and lead to a Shane McMahon pinfall. Baron was no worse than that. This was just another example to us all that not only is Shane McMahon getting booked like Stephen McMahon, but Mr. Lady Balls himself is talking absolute bollocks. Balls, bollocks, hey! It's John O'Clock again, motherfuckers! At the double! Now I asked the entire office what John said here, and none of us could make it out, not even Adam Blompier, whose teeth are bigger than his ears. But here's a direct quote from JBL while Sami Zayn was making his way down to the ring. No wonder Kevin does part lately Sami Zayn.
I can't believe you don't shut up.
So not only is Dolph Ziggler a massive cock tease and a bigger liar, but it turns out he's also the new Emelina, because that worked out so fucking well, didn't it, WWE? Eva Marie is the only person who can do that shtick justice. I do miss you, princess. But I guess him calling your boyfriend below a charisma vacuum was good, so I still don't give a shit, and after that promo, all I want to see is the Zigman. Pyong, pyong, pyong. It's John O'Clock, motherfuckers! How can John claim it's home court advantage for the Usos picking the stipulation for the SmackDown Live Tag Team Championship rematch when we are only a couple of months removed from the Hardy Boys doing the exact same thing for the Raw Tag Team Championship match at Extreme Rules? Bleh! Which, of course, they were going to lose to the bar. Statistically, and I know fine well, John, at those statistical certainties that aren't even statistical certainties, flick your switches and turn you on, you dirty little boy. It's actually the New Day that have the upper hand due to the recent past and the statistics that happened during that recent past. You fucking whopper. Next up, we have Natalya, and the moment she claimed that she's going to make Carmella the new Baron Corbin of the women's division. You say, not to you.
Oof, that's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight, losing my great hairline.
Next up, we have Lana, and the moment she was welcoming the woman who was in the Ravishing Revolution. Now, I was expecting a full makeover for Tamina, new theme, new attire, new hairdo, new everything. Start from scratch because she's in the Ravishing Revolution. But here is what we got. Apparently, the Ravishing Revolution means new eyeliner and a new fucking coat. Sorry, lads, but how can Tamina have that listed as her finishing move when we all know she can't do it? And after a match where we saw her finish it with a super kick, a move she can do. Now, I've seen Ramsey's Hotel Hells, and I know that that can only mean one thing. One question, how has that ended up in a box? And the second question, I suppose, why has somebody smeared it into the shape of arrows? Now, if I had more time to produce this video, I would have made a music video with Living in the Box's hit, Living in a Box rewritten to blot on the box. Seriously though, this has to be gross misconduct. Who has been relieving themselves on cardboard boxes and on walls within WWE's shows? Fucking hell. The WWE Champion, my Bay, my Spirit Animal Ruru, and Shinsuke Nax all getting the jobber entrance, while Randy Orton, a man who is fair to say we are all fucking bored of, gets the full McCoy, gets the full Superstar entrance. What is the crack with that? Surely, with Jinder being a heel and with Jinder being the champion, to make him feel special, if you're going to pick one of the four men to have an entrance, it would be him, just so you can rub it in all our faces. But no, the Viper gets what the Viper wants. While we're at it though, the tag team of the modern day match garages, or the crushing colasses, or the dudes with alright attitudes, but you have to hit them because they're from somewhere else. That team has legs. Roo, roo, roo. You know it. I've been King Ross. You've been my lost subjects. Goodbye.